This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update for Friday, July 5th, 2019. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. We begin with news that a government team begins scrutinizing the safety of areas where wells are located in Martin Road, The Pine, St. Michael today, following yesterday's tragic death of a 17-year-old who fell into a 100-foot well in the area. Member of Parliament Minister Cynthia Bradshaw tells Barbados Today she has spoken to Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Charles Griffith, who visited the area yesterday. The St. Michael's Southeast representative says she has been assured that the matter is being treated as a matter of urgency.
He has given me the assurance that not just that well, but a number of the other wells that we have been highlighting, that they will be addressed.
Minister Bradshaw, who knew the teen and his family personally, says his death is tragic and devastating. Like the residents, the MP said she made numerous calls to the former administration for proper maintenance of the wells, but to no avail. And she admits that the problem isn't unique to the Pine.
In an area like the Pine, where you have a number of children traversing the community on a regular basis, it's a densely populated area. These are the kinds of things that we've been really trying to avoid. Situations like this happening where wells have not been maintained properly and the proper inspection has not been done to be able to address these problems in a timely manner. This situation today is tragic. It is devastating, not just for the family, but it is devastating for the community. I've known Tariq for a number of years. I've known the family. I feel as though he is one of my own and one of my own children as well, and it really hurts me to know that he has lost his life in this way. And my heart really goes out to the family at this time and to the community as, we mourn the loss of a young man whose life has been taken from him in this way.
One of the teens charged with abusing the homeless has issued a public apology for his actions.
Apologize for abusing the vehicles for cooperation and open immigration. Sorry that will never happen again.
That was 16-year-old Jahim Campbell, who, along with his father, met with the president of the Barbados Vagrants and Homeless Society, Kimar Safri, who strongly condemned the attacks and said the duo wouldn't be welcome to do community service at the NGO. The 16-year-old, along with a 17-year-old, were hauled before the court for terrorizing two homeless men and admitted to stoning and chasing the men on Broad Street, Bridgetown. Safri accepted the apology yesterday and attempted to clarify his stance on the issue of community service, which many people had condemned.
We still stand by the fact that the community service cannot be done at the organization because it's too fresh of a matter, but also to let the public know that they can't do the community service at the organization because we are not registered as one of the agencies for which community service can be carried out. So that is one of the main problems as it relates to them not being able to serve community service at the Barbados Vagrants and Homeless Society. But in talking to Jahim and his father, he acknowledging the act which was carried out. We appreciate him coming and his father coming as well to really speak with us and to really bring to knowledge and to really bring to understanding what had happened. We had a very extensive talk, showed him some stuff and really get to delve into what we do here and how important the lives of the homeless out there is. And he understands it now. And however we can work together in the future and where he can see himself giving community service back to the organization in the near future outside of the court, we would welcome him.
Safri says the 17-year-old was unable to make the meeting. Persistent outcry by Barbados and other states about the criteria used to access development financing haven't been in vain. They are now getting the support of the Secretary General of the UN, Antonio Guterres. Not only is the diplomat supporting the argument that have been put forward, but he says he will also push for change. He agrees that the challenges facing small island developing states are further complicated by difficulties in mobilizing development financing on affordable and appropriate terms.
I agree with you that eligibility for official development assistance and other forms of concessional financing should include vulnerability criteria in addition to gross national income per capita. I have to say that I have assisted to many interesting technocratic discussions about vulnerability and what it means. But having visited several small island development states in the Pacific and the Caribbean, I never found one that was not a clear case of vulnerability that should be recognized by all. I also agree with you that the speed and predictability of climate financing, especially for least developed countries and SIDS, should be improved. And the prevalent use of debt instruments in climate finance needs review.
The UN official was addressing the two-day CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in St. Lucia that ends today.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In St. Lucia, the Civil Service Association has placed its members on alert in the event that negotiations with government aren't finalized on Monday. While agreement has been reached on issues of back pay and other matters, some issues still need to be ironed out. We get more from HTS News Force.
What was thought to be a done deal between the public sector unions and the government negotiating team is not, though the substantive matter of salaries, bonuses and back pay have been agreed upon. In principle, some details are yet to be resolved. The Trade Unions Federation will meet with the government negotiating team on Monday, July 8th, with the hope of hammering out the outstanding details.
A few of the affiliates still have outstanding terms and conditions to settle before we could sign the collective agreement. And we have a meeting scheduled for Monday at 10 o'clock to meet with the GNT to do just that.
The failure to sign the collective bargaining agreement before the 7th of July is significant. This is the deadline for information on government salaries for the coming month. So the expectation of payment of the lump sum or new salaries is not realistic.
And finally, internationally, the United States has applauded yesterday's interception by Britain's Gibraltar of a super tanker believed to be carrying Iranian crude oil to Syria, saying the ship was breaking international sanctions. Iran condemned the detention of the tanker as an illegal interception, but Gibraltar's chief minister insists the cargo was believed to be destined for a refinery in Syria.
In a bold operation in the dead of night, the Royal Marines homed in on an Iranian oil tanker. They boarded the Grace 1 and took control of the ship and its cargo, a vessel suspected of taking Iranian oil to Syria.
This action arose from information giving the Gibraltar government reasonable grounds to believe that the vessel, the Grace 1, was acting in breach of European Union sanctions against Syria.
The ship's documents say the Grace 1 was loaded with oil in Basra in Iraq, but its tracking system was switched off. When it came back on, the ship was near the Iranian port of Bandar Asalia. It avoided the well-policed Suez Canal and took the long way around Africa before being stopped at Gibraltar. It's thought it was heading for the Banias refinery in Syria, a journey monitored by both the UK and the US. The Iranians are incensed and say detaining its tanker is illegal, summoning the British ambassador in Tehran. They believe the UK is supporting President Trump's oil embargo on them, with Spain's foreign minister stoking the flames, saying Britain was doing America's bidding.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.